So, back for another VGC guide, and this time we are looking at Arcanine. Some people have been claiming that Intimidate is just a dead ability now in Generation 9 VGC. No, it's not. You just always happened to have an Incineroar on your team back in previous generations because you didn't have any creativity. And now you don't have Incineroar anymore, so you're not always going to have access to Intimidate. Get over it. Arcanine is still a brilliant Pokemon, even without Intimidate, but it should still run Intimidate. Back in VGC 17, Incineroar didn't have Intimidate at that point, so Arcanine was the go-to Intimidate Pokemon. There's no reason why it can't be the case for this one as well. Intimidate's still a brilliant ability. So this is going to easily be an A ranking still. This is a pure support Arcanine for this one. So I'm going to make use of the combination of Snarl and Will-O-Wisp, which is a very, very good damage control combination. Paired with Intimidate as well, this will be a very good Pokemon to reduce the damage of your opponent's attacks coming your way. And that's just how Arcanine's always been. It can still do exactly the same thing. There's no reason why this set wouldn't be good in this format. So yeah, it's still going to be pretty effective. The speed is to outspeed a modest Goldengo. If they're timid, you don't really care because they're not doing as much damage. It survives a Choice Specs Draco Meteor from a Hydreigon on the special side, and then just the rest is put into physical defense. You want slightly more special defense because then Intimidate is going to patch up defenses slightly. And you've got the Snarl and Will-O-Wisp anyway, that's going to be damage reduction. Will-O-Wisp halves them, Snarl only does -1, so you want slightly more special defense anyway on Arcanine. Back in VGC 17, you ran a careful Arcanine so that you could survive things like Gigavolt Havocs. There's no super powerful move like that you need to be able to survive, so being a bit faster to outspeed Goldengo is quite nice. And the safety goggles is just extra insurance against things like Amoonguss. You can Will-O-Wisp the partner, which would be very nice. You're going to be very good into Lilycole, which obviously is an annoying combination. If you don't have safety goggles, the Arcanine can be sleep powdered instead, and then you can just be eruptioned at full HP, which is a bit annoying. So safety goggles would just be extra insurance. You don't need to run safety goggles though. It can definitely be something like a Citrus Berry. It doesn't have access to the 50% healing that it did back in VGC 17, so Citrus Berry is going to have to do. And this is not a suggested moveset, these are suggested moves that could be on this moveset. So either have Heat Wave or Flare Blitz, depending on which one you want, because Heat Wave doesn't give you recoil, so if you wanted to bulk yourself out and then not lose some of your HP to do damage, Heat Wave is a good option. It can miss, and it's much weaker. So those are the downsides there, but you won't take recoil. Flare Blitz is way stronger, because it's got slightly more attack, and higher base, not base HU, but higher base attack, 120 against spread 95. Much more significant. Extreme Speed is good for picking off weakened targets, so if they're down to the Focus Sash, Extreme Speed having +2 priority as well is going to be very effective at picking off some things. Helping Hand is going to be good on a support Arcanine because then it allows still extra damage to come into the fray because then you can help out your partner. And I will mention Roar as well because not many Pokemon get Roar at this point. That'll be a good way of stopping Trick Room, because you can always Roar out Trick Room because Roar has -6 priority, Trick Room has -7 priority, so Roar will go first and then they don't Trick Room. So that would be a good way of stopping that as well. It is also a good way of stopping any kind of setup. So if you manage to catch a setup of like a Nasty Plot or a Swords Dance and then roll them out, or if anything like a Garganical going for some iron defenses for body presses, Roar would be nice there as well. Arcanine can still be run very offensively though. Choice Band is also a very good item on Arcanine, because it's going to be able to do some serious damage with a base of 120 stab attack with Flare Blitz. Also, on top of this, you now get access to Extreme Speed as a normal type. Dragonite does it better, but Arcanine has Intimidate. And Intimidate is not a dead ability in VGC. It's still going to be very, very strong. So Dragonite is a stronger Extreme Speed Pokemon, but Arcanine isn't so much a dedicated, I am almost always going to be clicking normal Extreme Speed. Because it can very much just stay as a regular Arcanine, go for some super powerful Flare Blitzes, and use your Terror elsewhere, while still being able to Extreme Speed and not necessarily as a normal type. Close Combat's going to be able to hit the Steel types, but would be a bit awkward. The Rock and Steel types as well. Then Play Rough is because there's some dragons in the format that would like to be Play Roughed. You can definitely run a couple of other sets on it as well, not sets, other moves. So Psychic Fangs would be a good way of breaking any screens that are going to be set up, and Wild Charge would help you hit any water types as well. This is just going to be maximizing the damage output here with the speed, so just going Adamant Max, hitting the 11N with this much investment, and then just a tiny bit of extra HP so that you can actually mitigate somewhat your Flare Blitz recoil that you will be getting. So Arcanine is still going to be an absolutely fantastic Pokemon in this format. Intimidate is still an absolutely fantastic ability, and I don't know what people are talking about when they say it's dead.